Welcome back to the Digital Ledger channel, everybody. I'm Brad Kimes. You can follow me at Twitter at Backup Bradley above on the screen. Okay, make sure you hit the like and subscribe on this new channel. It will always be fresh, never duplicate content. So just know that. And reason I have two channels is because this channel allows me to cover not only Ripple XRP, but I also branch out into other cryptos as well. You will find in the playlist a series of other video or other coins that I've done a short review on. So make sure you check those out as well. And I'm talking about ADA, Ethereum, Vetcoin, and others. And I will continue to add to that list of coins. So today we want to talk about some news in the crypto space, some of it Ripple and majority of it regulation narrative. So pretty interesting stuff. Let's start with this. Spain's crypto firms face new registration requirements under EU-driven bill. I want you to pay attention to this narrative as we go through the news here today. This is it right here. A proposed amendment published over a week ago will require virtual currency service providers to register with the Bank of Spain if enacted. The law will place Spain in compliance with the EU's fifth anti-money laundering directive, the block-wide mandate introduced in 2018 to strengthen preventative measure against financial crime. To get things moving even faster, the public comment period of the amendment ends today. Typically, the comment period is 60 to 90 days. They're looking to get this moving. EU member nation has 18 months to comply with the new directive in February. It sent warning letters to 8 countries, including Spain, urging them to get moving and amending their AML laws. I'm going to try this name here. Maria Gospodinova, general manager of virtual currency platform Cryptos.com, Europe operations, told CoinDesk to understand that digital assets has evolved greatly since AML D55 was first published. The abundance of new information, some of which came directly from companies seeking to be regulated in certain jurisdictions, led to steep learning curve. This has helped regulators understand the risk associated with crypto and offer comprehensive amendments that will improve risk mitigation and management, she said. So here's the larger narrative here. You're seeing the push to get everyone compliant around the world. Now, today, by the way, happens to be the deadline for the international body, the Financial Actions Task Force. Well, what does that mean? I don't think they're going to turn the lights off on anybody, but maybe they do. I don't know. But I don't think that happens. But what I do think happens is that you see this constant orchestration, this collective move globally for everyone to move to a level of compliance that is equal, right? And that becomes a standard, a level of standard. So I'm not going to read the rest of this. You get the gist of this. The EU directive also outlines stringent know your customer regulations that reinforce the law introduced by the Financial Action Task Force. Boom. Okay. Now, like I said, today is the deadline for that. They're having a plenary meeting today on where everyone is or is not in the level of compliance. Let's keep going. Another little side piece of news before we get back into this about regulation. Shout out to Coin Loan Platform. Check this out. More than 14 million XRP deposits within the first week of listing on Coin Loan. Whoa! How about that for demand? Within a week of the listing, users deposited more than 14 million XRP tokens on the platform, making CoinLoan the leading cryptocurrency lending service that uses Ripple, according to the company. Users who deposit their Ripple tokens on the platform can benefit from up to 5.7 APY and take out loans with the XRP as collateral. This is the reason the company considers many XRP holders to choose CoinLoan. Pretty remarkable. I mean, there are a lot of people taking loans against their crypto. Look, I have talked about, the advantages of collateralized debt positions, CDPs. Basically being able to take loans against your crypto assets, whether it's XRP or something else. The only thing I would encourage everybody to do is make sure you clearly understand what your position is. Because whether you're locked into a decentralized finance position on a platform like, let's say, Kava Labs, which is doing great things, or whether you're locked in with some other platform where you can pick up the phone and actually call somebody. I think the one thing you have to be careful of is in a young, nascent, emerging market where we don't yet have price discovery on assets, you run a risk of getting leveraged out, right, or liquidated, right, where if you don't put up enough collateral and headroom, let's call it, against your borrowed position, you run a risk of getting liquidated if the market moves too much or too quickly on you. So just keep that in mind before you do that with your crypto. It's certainly something I'm going to consider for myself at some point, but I don't want to do it until I know the market is really taking on a much more mature outlook as far as at least having price discovery on XRP or other assets before I would even consider it. So just wanted to throw that out there for everybody. Let's get back into this. So in banking first, ING develops FATF friendly protocol for tracking crypto transfers. Did I happen to mention that the FATF deadline is today? Oddly enough, ING Bank, the Netherlands-based lender with a penchant for blockchain, has developed a protocol to assist with the Financial Action Task Force travel rule requirement for crypto exchanges, firms dealing in digital assets. Okay, the solution initiated by ING, currently dubbed the Travel Rule Protocol, or we'll call it TRP for now, has also been backed by Standard Chartered Bank, Fidelity Digital Assets, and BitGo. Now, I've heard of all of them, plus a gaggle of other familiar firms from the crypto space. The FATF's recommendation in October 2018 to include virtual asset service provider VASP within the scope of its anti-money laundering mandate has spawned a raft of technical solutions and a messaging standard. However, this is the first time any bank has been involved in a crypto travel rule solution. ING is an innovation leader on blockchain DLT, sees the increasing opportunities with regards to digital assets on both asset-backed native security tokens. Lead on digital assets in ING told CoinDesk in an email, with a regulatory first approach, we are actively involved in different working groups to support standardization of this emerging ecosystem and ultimately pioneer mass adoption. The institutional focused TRP was also partly backed by the Inter-VASP working group, which released the IVMS 101 standard, a way that VASP can agree on the format of messaging payloads their solution will transfer. According to a TRP document seen by CoinDesk, we are proposing a collaboratively managed infrastructure that offers VASP members a way to query the existing of address entries. An address entry is defined by, among others, an LEI, legal entity identifier, and public key information. See, this is what this is about, right? How can we connect the sender and receiver to some form of identity, but keep their real identity contained, firewalled? But if we need to find out who you are, because we may suspect suspicion of a transaction, we can drill past that identifier and get down into your actual personal information. That's what we're talking about here. The protocols feature a RESTful representational state transfer API, which is basically a way of transferring data from one place to another on the internet. Participating VASP must be able to publish address entries. By doing so, they associate an identity and data linked with the address entry, the paper says. You could compare it more to SWIFT, said the banking source, referring it to an interbank messaging system that has been in place since the 1970s. It could be used for private purposes or be open source code and be adopted by people as a way to exchange the transaction information. ING is known to be highly innovative when it comes to blockchain, getting deeply involved in privacy enhancing tech like zero knowledge proofs. But this has always been on the enterprise side of things. Okay. So the takeaway from this TRP experiment is that banks like ING and the UK-based Standard Chartered banks are quietly edging closer towards the world of crypto and regulated virtual asset service providers. Absolutely the truth. That is exactly the truth here. And more evidence of that is here. Ripple and other crypto firms respond to FATF's travel rule requirements. Is anyone picking up a theme here? Today is the deadline of the FATF guidelines. For those people who thought that the FATF guidelines were something you didn't have to listen to, I'm starting to get the feeling that that's not the case. Because everyone is listening and making note of it. And the ones that are smart enough to know to follow the rules are going, you know what? Let's go ahead and put out a press release about how we're getting with the program. The Financial Action Task Force is expected to update Recommendation 16 with a seemingly strict travel rule during a hearing Wednesday, today. Cryptocurrency firms and companies, including Ripple, have started to respond to the upcoming change, which is being considered as a move forward for the industry as it attempts to steer itself away from financial crime. The travel rule is designed to restrict money laundering and terrorist financing by adopting an approach that requires all exchanges and digital asset providers to share customer information in order to create a more transparent ecosystem. The Travel Rule Information Sharing Alliance, otherwise known as TRISA, which is connected directly to PayID, is a decentralized company designed to help firms be compliant with the upcoming rules. By the way, the PayID trademark is held by Ripple, which means it's Ripple. So the TRISA model enables a global interoperable infrastructure for virtual asset providers to determine which Bitcoin, Ethereum, or other cryptocurrencies are associated with which VASPs and where to send the required customer beneficiary. So here we see the little post from Global Digital Finance that says CEO CipherTrace will present a GDF knowledge learning webinar next week discussing the travel rule information sharing alliance with TRISA enables virtual asset providers to meet critical compliance obligations. So there you have it. All right, for the cryptocurrency industry, Progress Solution needs to open, easy, integrate, compliant with international law. TRISA's solution stands out in simplicity and security. Reminding everyone again, TRISA's integration with the newly launched PayID enables regulated virtual currency companies to comply with the travel rule requirements and to extract the information needed to meet other financial crimes compliance requirements, such as AML, transaction monitoring, sanction screening. Okay, this is where we're at, guys. I mean, you know, today is the deadline for the FATF, and you're seeing like companies like Standard Chartered or ING, right, or Ripple, and all these other entities in Spain. They're all moving to show that we are with the program. We are with the regulations and recommendations from the oversight body of the International G20, which is the FATF. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. This is nothing but great news from where I'm coming from. I mean, these are the things I want to see, a legitimate market taking shape. Hit the like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys on the next one.